My name is Evelyn Reynolds, and this is my speech for my Interpersonal Communication class. I know I'm supposed to be standing in front of an audience and presenting my speech to them, but due to circumstances, I can't have an audience at the moment, and I know this is last minute, but I'm going to give my speech and hope that this would be enough. I am discussing the importance of the three different assertive communications, the non-assertive, the aggressive, and the assertive, and the important parts of how they help with our communication between our families, our friends, our everyday lives, with who we come in contact with. Between these three, it can determine whether either something comes into conflict or not. And avoiding conflict would be the best thing to do. Well, the first one I will start with is explaining as the assertive, which is one of the three. Non-assertive messages refers to the lack of assertiveness, basically referring to a lack of assertiveness. People who are not assertive basically fail to stand up for themselves. There's a lot of people in this world that do fail to stand up for themselves. There's more of them nowadays because others putting them down. They feel that they'd rather stand back than to express themselves in the way that they should. Kind of like, for example, people that get bullied, they don't like to stand up for themselves because they feel that they will get bullied again or worse, or something worse would happen. They feel bad about it, and they feel that if they express themselves, that it will only turn bad, that they shouldn't say anything. Also, non-assertive people are also referred in nowadays as wimps and cowards because they don't like to stand up for themselves. They'd rather avoid conflict, so that's why they call them cowards, which I should say that it's not a very polite thing to say just because someone's like that. It's not right. Kind of like, for another example, that character John in the show Garfield or the movie Garfield, he shows a lot of non-assertiveness that he avoids. As soon as things start getting rough with his cat, or if he gets in trouble with the neighbors, he shows a lot of non-assertiveness. He just gives his cat whatever it wants to eat, and if it eats his food, then okay. He's showing a lot of non-assertiveness, and I can relate to it as well. Because when I was younger, I was definitely non-assertiveness, and doing videos like this, and someone seeing me and judging me, I'd rather not do it. I'd rather not voice my opinion like the way I'm doing now. I would have rather taken a fail for this, but I have grown to be a little more assertive, and that I've learned throughout the years. I can connect to this non-assertive deeply than the other two, because I'm still struggling with the non-assertiveness in certain areas, because people can be assertive in areas that they're stronger in, and people can be non-assertive in other areas, like giving public speeches, and when someone argues about their term or what they're giving a speech about, they can become non-assertive at one point. Now, when it comes to a specific topic, it can be more assertive when it's something very close to them. Like when it comes to bullying, is something that I can be assertive with because it's happened to me before, and I don't like seeing it, and I don't want people to go through it. So that's another example. Let's see, let's go to the next part, because non-assertive people often go with the philosophy of, you win, I lose, okay, let's end this. Okay, you win. End of discussion. Let's just go with what you say, and we'll do it. So that's like, no, not assertive. Now, when it comes to being non-assertive to aggressive, that's an extreme jump. An extreme jump from being non-assertive to aggressive. Basically, aggressive is basically people that are very open. People that are not afraid to say what's on their mind. That are not afraid to tell anybody what they feel. They're not afraid to voice their own words, even if it causes people to be hurt with the words or hurt with what they were saying, and so on and so forth. Kind of like, for example, I don't know if y'all have seen the show, Everybody Loves Raymond. The father would say what's on his mind, and he would just not care who would get hurt or what. I mean, granted, it was funny, but it was kind of mean. Also, assertive people can often get into fights and not accept the fact that they're wrong, even though they know they're wrong, but they'd still keep fighting about it. That's the aggressive people. And the assertive is known to be the healthier way to go, because you are voicing your opinion, you're saying what's on your mind, but you're also taking in contact the feeling of others and the reasoning of others. You care about what others people say and their input, and it's a definite one that where I'm at more now. Assertiveness has definitely helped me out more. Sometimes in life you have to be. When it comes into a workplace, when it comes into your personal life, you kind of have to be assertive up to a point. Like, for example, for a funeral, you can be non-assertive, especially when it comes to either a family member or a friend that's lost someone dear to them. And they come up and vent to you, and they take anger out on you, and sometimes you just have to be non-assertive and let them vent because they're hurting. When it comes to aggressive, is if you work at a rehab medical facility, and one of the rehabs are throwing tantrums and fits, and they don't want to go with the program, and sometimes you have to be a little more aggressive, not saying physically hurt them, or just being in a rush tone, sternly telling them to calm down, or, just going through it. And then being assertive is basically, for example, like if you're a supervisor and an employee is slacking off, you have to be assertive, but also to the point. Where you gotta be assertive to the point where you gotta voice what they're doing wrong and what you'd like them to improve in, so that you don't have to be too aggressive. Because if you're too aggressive, then the employee might quit, and you might run low staff, which causes more problems for everybody else. So, those are the three main communication ones that I wanted to talk about, and that I think are very important to think about in society. I know we usually don't think when we speak, and it's very rare that it's not rare, actually. It's very, how should I say it? It's very hard to stop and think, because a lot of people just keep going. They keep going, and they talk and they speak. Some of them don't. Some of them stop and think way too much. Some of them don't think at all. Like, non-assertive stop and think way too much, and then they don't say anything at all. Some of them don't think at all, and they're very assertive. That ends up in fights. Somewhere in the middle would be, assertive. But it depends on the situation. Assertive isn't always the way to go. In my conclusion, think about what situation you're in, because it can be between either of the three of those that can help you make a better decision, either for your life, for your family, or for whatever you're doing. It may prove out to be more beneficial. So, in my conclusion, these are very interesting subjects. If you want to look into them more, you can definitely find them very easily online, and find out the importance of them. Thank you again for watching my video, and my name is Evelyn Reynolds, and have a good day.